fucking toughest interview I've ever done, that, you know, lad. Yeah.
Okay, we ready, everybody?
A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. If you believe the flows and seas of this picture-painted parody that turns your laughter into tears and defines your reality, it's all the same and no so wrong, but in it you see clarity. Been sat on the bench for far too long, I'm tired of inhumanity.
I grew up in the north end of Liverpool, from a very working class background. I wouldn't sit here and say that I've come from nothing, because my mum and dad have worked really, really hard to give me younger brother and younger sister the benefits that they definitely didn't have growing up, and opportunities that a lot of kids don't have, and I certainly never took it for granted. But my dad was an electrician, and then moved on to owning a small building firm. When I left school, worked with him for 9 years as an electrician. Music was something just that I'd done as a hobby, just through the love of it, and I wrote songs for me. I grew up with people who didn't have what I had, you know what I mean, and I was very, very aware of that. Obviously there's poverty in certain areas and stuff like that. I've seen it firsthand, and it matured me into like writing the songs that I write today. I was writing songs about, crooked governments at like 15 years of age, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because I just seen it. I'm not the best guitar player in the world, I'm not the greatest singer by any means, but I'm very, very passionate about what I do, and I believe that when people listen to me and if they listen to what I'm writing about, they'll resonate with it, and they'll get behind me, and we can do some good things together.
So unjust, but went about so quietly. We sympathise because we must, but that's not what's inside of me. So make it known just how you feel, and don't speak so politely. Then one day we can break free from this shithole of society. Very much.
I thank my mum, because my mum was the one who made me learn an instrument. So I was like maybe 8, and I started going guitar lessons. Look, I hated it. I just wanted to play football in the street. She said, Mum, when can I stop this? You know what I mean? And she said, when you go to senior school, you can stop it, because it'll help you get into a good school if you can play an instrument. So that happened anyway. I got into a decent school that I sort of got back into music, because a lot of the kids from around there, that's the area that the Beatles came from, that area. And a lot of the lads who were in my school were into music. That sort of fell into me joining a band then. My first band when I was 15. We played a few gigs on the circuit. We played gigs to actually nobody, no one was in the room. The band sort of ran its course by the time we were nearly 16, nearly 17. We called it a day, and I loved playing acoustic covers and stuff anyway, and I was still writing acoustic songs.
This place is skies and streams, but there's plenty people building upside dreams. So here's to the ones working behind the scenes. Gives me a smile, gives me a shiver, when I think of being stood on the river. Everyone's on a take, but this place she's a giver. So if you're feeling sick and tired of the games you play, have a look at where you're at, it's another day. At least you're not a divvy in a bib and brace. You're the head of the pace, and you owe it all to this place.
My dad had always told me, that like he followed Liverpool home, away and across the country as a fan for like 8 years of his life, 8 to 9 years of his life, and he said, you know, besides having kids, he said they were the best days of his life. Do you know what I mean? He said they were like, he said if you ever get the chance to do it, it's like it's an amazing sort of, you learn a lot as well. He said you visit all these places, you mix with so many different people who all just, you know, because everyone's a football fan, it doesn't matter what you do as your day job, does it? You know what I mean? I just wanted to follow Liverpool around the country, so what I started doing was, I was on an apprentice wage, you know, like it was about £4 an hour or something like that. I started playing covers in pubs for, you know, maybe, you know, 50 quid here and there. And, you know, I really enjoyed it. All these lads were at the pubs were turning up, it'd be like 200 people. I'd never seen more than 30 people in front of me before. Yeah. And like they're all singing back every word, and like the pub owner's coming over to me saying, can you bring them again next week? I'll give you 100 quid. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, sound, yeah, let's, you know, started building like a little reputation. And then there was an event called Boss Nights in Liverpool, which was like sort of a hub for Liverpool musicians to play after a game. Instead of there being 400 people, there was 400 people in the room, and then the 300 people that I brought outside as well, trying to get in. Liverpool songs started to creep into it, and I'd be playing Mrs. Robinson by Simon Garfunkel, and someone had changed Mrs. Robinson to Jordan Henderson, you know, because he'd scored a goal that day. And that's just how it happens. The same with Mo Salah, the Mo Salah song To Sit Down by James. It was all like a gradual thing where, as these things happened, fans were inspired by what was happening on the pitch. And I was just in the right place at the right time. You know, obviously with a lot of passion for what I was doing. I love Liverpool Football Club, I love music. You know, I love the people of my city. So as it started to build and Liverpool got successful, we went to Kiev. And that's where it sort of like started to take off with the club, getting involved. And after that I went on my first pre-season tour of the US. And it was sort of after that when I was still right at these gigs, I was playing some of my own songs, and like people from the crowd was asking for them, as well as all the Liverpool songs and the LA and all that. And you know, when I played to 60,000 people in Madrid, there was 2 banners of me debut single, Weekend in Paradise. People had them as banners in the crowd, and the single wasn't released. I didn't have a record deal or anything like that, and I was just, you know, I was trying to find a way to record this song and put it out there. I didn't have a clue where to start, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then the guy who signed me, Dave Picciolinghi, who's my manager as well, I met him on the flight out there. I didn't have a clue who he was, and you know, as you can tell, I'm a chatty fucker. I don't shut up. And I was like this, I was talking to Dave on the plane, just thinking he was just some old fella from Liverpool who was working, do you know what I mean? And I was talking to him about friends that I've got, friends who I've lost, musical inspirations. We had mutual friends, and right before we got off the flight, he said to me, give me your number because I want to talk to you after your gig tomorrow. I said, why, who the fuck are you? And he said, oh, my name's Dave, I own a record label, and you know, I run a festival. So I said, oh, that's handy, isn't it? And after the gig that I played that day, I just got a text on my phone and it just said, let's make a record. So that day was like the day that like I stopped working as an electrician.
Some can handle it no more, some will do it forever. Spend your weeks walking down with your head to the floor, no time for the news or the weather. Your first pint on a Friday, your last gin on a Sunday morning. It all keeps up on it in between, no reasons why, no early warning. If it's one of the times when it's all worthwhile and you've had a scream, that's alright. Or is it burning your bridges to both ends? Same old teacher to a 17. Oh, now the wheels are falling off, they don't show signs of ending. You've had enough for hours, but you carried on pretending. Your shoes have lost the shine, the convo's lost its pace. So now you're in a taxi, feeling to disgrace. You've never got no money, because of all the times you lend. Was it a pointless 3-day bender, or a weekend in paradise, my friends?
You know, when you're still seeing what's going on now in the UK, you know, for a large period of lockdown, we were all told to stay indoors and not visit our relatives, and the Tories went out and had a fucking party. Do you know what I mean? And we're laughing at us. These people are supposed to have our fucking best interests at heart, mate, yeah? The best interests at heart, and they fucking don't. They don't care about us. All they care about is the fucking book at the end of it. Do you know what I mean? and you know, it's what they're doing is divisive. The propaganda on the fucking telly, on the BBC every single day, the lies that they tell every single day, that's fucking divisive shit. I'm just exposing people to what they do. Fuck the Tories wasn't even something that I started. It was something that was started in Liverpool, around Liverpool matches, and it's come with me on the road, and people all over the country now are starting to do it as well. I don't walk out there and shout fuck the Tories. The crowd shout fuck the Tories. I'm just emulating what they're saying, do you know what I mean? So to say it's divisive, no, it's not. It's just from the heart. I'm just echoing what other people are saying to me, do you know what I mean? So yeah, Tories are fucking bad people. I'm not saying that many people in the Labour Party are much better at the moment in time, but there are the chosen few who genuinely give a fuck about people who need to be cared about. Do you know what I mean? It took a professional footballer who plays for Manchester United, Marcus Rashford, it took him to address the Prime Minister and raise a campaign to feed kids who can't be fed on a fucking school holiday. Kids who get food for free, right? During term times because they can't afford it, because the families live below the breadline. Now, just because the school's shut doesn't mean that the families stop living below the breadline, does it? No, they still need to be fucking fed and clothed. And it took a professional footballer to use his platform, his social media, to rally a cry amongst communities and amongst other celebrities to really make the government look stupid and put them in a position where they had no other option but to enlist the programme that was still funded by most people donating as well, by the way. I was talking to someone about ticket prices the other day on a call, and I was asking him basically why can't they cap the ticket prices on resale fees, and he said to me there's a level of education required, and that's what people like me from my areas and my background are dealt by people above. We're basically told that we don't understand and we can't understand, and that's fucking wrong, because you know what, there's more of us than there is them, do you know what I mean? And we should hold the power, and that's why I feel so strongly about what I do.
Home is where I want to be. Pick me up and turn me round. I feel numb, born with a weak heart. I guess I must be having fun.
You know, I enjoy what I do every day, you know what I mean? I used to work as an electrician, I fucking hated it. I hated it. Well, like, you know, it was a good, you know, it was a good trade and stuff like that, but it wasn't, you know, I was going out and playing gigs of a weekend and coming back and working. It was obviously, you knew that you could do it, you know what I mean, and you wanted to do it. So when you've got dreams of doing something else all the time, it's not as easy to do your day job, but, you know, I write music to every day. I talk to people like you guys. I'm sat in a fancy suite in a fancy hotel in Austin, Texas. You know what I mean? Lights, cameras, Gatorade, water, all that jazz. And you know, it's just the best way to you know. I'm not making a killing, but I am making a living. To quote another young singer-songwriter in London, actually, called Louis Dunford. But yeah, it's, you know, I'm just enjoying myself, and if I can keep enjoying myself doing this for as long as possible, then I'll be a happy man, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I've got a massive passion for music and writing songs that, you know, that I feel, you know, about issues that I feel strongly about. But at the same time, I still have a massive love for Liverpool Football Club. And the thing is, the fans from Liverpool Football Club give me a platform to release music. The hardest thing for a band is getting people to listen to you. And, you know, with me, right off the bat, releasing my first single, I had thousands of people waiting to listen to me because of who I was, and because they liked me as a person, and because they liked what they'd seen from me as the person, because obviously I wear my heart on my sleeve, and you know, they seen me as one of them, so they wanted one of us to do well. Do you know what I mean? It's all about solidarity and looking after your own. Do you know what I mean? And I've felt the love of that from the minute go, massively from the Liverpool fans. Now, obviously, I play my own music because I don't just want to be inclusive to Liverpool fans, I want to be inclusive to everyone. But having said that, you know, I don't forget where I've come from, and I never will. And the fact that these Liverpool fans still see me in such a light, I could never ignore them.